Hey folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's episode, The Shadows of Yog-Sothoth for the Call of Cthulhu game. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the first campaigns published for Call of Cthulhu. I've never been really clear on which came first, this or Masks of Nyarlathotep. This has always sort of been the red-haired stepchild of the Call of Cthulhu campaigns. Especially, everyone knows the Master of Nyarlathotep. A lot of people have started the Master of Nyarlathotep. Everyone likes the Master of Nyarlathotep. This one has always taken the back seat, mainly because, to me, the plot doesn't feel anywhere near as cohesive as Masks of Nyarlathotep does. This comes off a lot more as a mythos hoedown. Meaning that it's like, all right, here's a lot of ideas we can string together, and it's one group, you're traveling across the world to stop the rise of Relia and the return of Cthulhu, and here's part of how you can do it. This is more of a meat grinder campaign than Masks is, if you want the truth. But in this game, you can travel across the world, like I said. Some of the settings, you start off in New England, you then go to Scotland, you wind up in Easter Island, you go to Relia, there's a stopover in another spot in America for this, and you run into a lot of the critters and a lot of the tropes of the Call of Cthulhu game. Is it good? I like it, to be honest with you. This is one of these campaigns that I have wanted for a very long time, and I couldn't find, that I finally got my hands on and I snatched up in a second. Is it the best campaign they've ever produced? No, but it's a really good snapshot into sort of what was going on in the development of Call of Cthulhu at the time. If you want a really good campaign for the Call of Cthulhu game, in my opinion, you're better off getting your hand on Masks of Nyarlathotep or Horror on the Orient Express, or even Beyond the Mountains of Madness, just because those to me have a more cohesive, they stick together well, and they have a real classic feel to them. This doesn't feel that way, and this is an updated and revised version with new maps, probably some repair of ideas, new artwork, that it's good. I like it. And there's nothing that feels more Call of Cthulhu-y than going to some place that you've heard about in the books. Arkham, Innsmouth, and Relia. For God's sake, you go to Relia. And yes, it's as much of a physical insanity meat grinder as you might imagine. Getting out of this alive itself is the fun. I do like this book. I like it a lot just because it actually says, and you know, the guy who summons the Shoggoth to eat you might not be your friend. And it also has, and I'm going to end with a quote from this. It's one of the most famous quotes from the Call of Cthulhu campaign. Characters who try to fight it out with Cthulhu should be mangled and obliterated. Even the lauded Elder Sign is impotent against such a being. For example, if an investigator held up the Elder Sign before Cthulhu, hoping that he or she would not be grabbed by Cthulhu's claws, the keeper is well justified in permitting a small, star-shaped piece of the character's body to escape annihilation. The part of the body covered with the Elder Sign is perfectly protected, not just the rest of the victim. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.